We got a unique topic today. It's something that's recently appeared in the news, and that's the topic of abortion. Now, some of you may be thinking, why are you talking about abortion? You're not a woman. You don't have a uterus. You don't have a vagina. What qualifies you to talk about abortion? Well, those would be very good questions. And I don't possess none of those things. Quite frankly, I thank God that I am a male, because the scrutiny, the pressure that women go through on a daily basis is quite remarkable, in my opinion. As someone who all of you should know, I grew up with all women, 3 older sisters and 1 mother, all my life. So if you were to ask, do I have, or what qualifies me to talk about this topic? Well, other than godly wisdom, I would say I grew up around women. I know how women think. I know why women act the way they act, say the things that they say, and do the things that they do. And again, just my opinion, but I believe I'm equipped enough to talk about this topic. So let's get started. So why is the topic of abortion discussed on today's episode? Well, on June 24th, 2022, there was an outcry. There were many complaints, possibly riots that I am unaware of, if there are any. There was an overturn in the Roe versus Wade case, deriving from the more recent Dobbs versus Jackson women's health case. Dobbs meaning Thomas E. Dobbs, who is a state health officer with the Mississippi State Department of Health. It's an overturn and a law that has been established for over 50 years. But before we get into that, for those who don't know what Roe versus Wade is, and quite frankly, before this topic was placed on my heart, I didn't even know what Roe versus Wade was. So let's get into that. So, Roe versus Wade was a landmark decision of the U.S. Supreme Court, which ruled that the Constitution of the United States protects the liberty, generally, to choose to have an abortion. And because of that decision, it struck down many federal and state abortion laws. For example, the state of Texas, around when this case was going on, which was first argued in 1971 and ultimately decided in 1973, around that time, abortion was illegal in the state of Texas. But because of the decision in that case, it pretty much became illegal. Now, that case was brought by a woman named Norma McCorvey, who in 1969 became pregnant with her 3rd child. She wanted an abortion, but because she lived in the state of Texas, where it was illegal, she couldn't get it. The only way a woman was able to get an abortion in the state of Texas was when it was to save the mother's life. So after that fact, her attorneys, the attorneys' names were Sarah Weddington and Linda Coffey. They filed a lawsuit on behalf of her in the federal courts against the local district attorney by the name of Henry Wade, hence Roe versus Wade. And the reason why is Roe versus Wade because the woman, I presume, wanted to be anonymous, so she went by the moniker, I guess you could say, Jane Doe. So, long story short, the three special judge court ruled in her favor from a 7-2 decision. And as I mentioned earlier, because of that, new abortion laws were upheld. And was upheld for 50 years. So that's the background of Roe versus Wade. Also, going back to Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health. Again, there was an overturn, not only from Roe versus Wade of 1973, but from Planned Parenthood versus Casey back in 1992. Now, we don't need to go much into Planned Parenthood versus Casey because it's pretty much the same thing. It was just reinsuring Roe versus Wade. And that case was decided in 1992 of June 29th. And it was argued on April 22nd, 1992. So the case only lasted 2 months. Again, the Roe versus Wade case went on for 2 years. So not much significance in the Planned Parenthood versus Casey case. But going back to the Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health case. Again, there was an overturn. So now states will at least have the option to make it a law that abortion is illegal. Now, there are states out there who rest assured the people that abortion will remain legal in our respective state. I know one state off the top of my head, which is California, that I saw a tweet, I believe, from the governor or a senator that abortion rights will still be upheld in that state. So you got that. But as far as I know, everything has remained the same. Other than Ohio, I believe, where I recently saw that a 10-year-old girl, yes, 10 years old, who was unfortunately raped, wanted to get an abortion, but because she lived in the state of Ohio, go Buckeyes, I'm just playing, I'm not a Buckeyes fan. Since she lived in that state, if she wanted to get an abortion, needed to go to the closest state, or at least one of the closest states near her, which was Indiana. Get an abortion. So you started to see the change slowly and gradually with some of these states. Because with this overturn, it essentially eliminates the constitutional right to abortion. Also, it abolishes pregnant women's right to privacy. That's pretty much the reason for the outcry. Oh my goodness. Like I've seen on all news, not all, but some news outlets, CNN, Law and Crime, Fox. What's the term? Public entertainer. Well, whatever the term is. Oh my gosh, this is a sad day for women. This set us back. Oh my gosh, after 50 something years, why now? Why? And some might think that there are legit reasons to be upset. Because here are the possible results because of this overturn. The banning of pills, pregnancy prevention pills, such as Plan B, IUDs, and reversible contraceptives. Now, for those who don't know what an IUD is, essentially it's something you stick. I believe it's something you stick in your uterus that essentially prevents a pregnancy. I'm not familiar with an IUD, but that's what I understand of that. Another possible result of this overturn are states just straight up banning abortion. You know, there are states that technically ban, states that abortion is illegal, such as Alabama, Arizona, Michigan, and Mississippi. And the last thing that I believe is the reason why people are, particularly women, are having an outcry for this is abortion travel, which is technically illegal. Now, abortion travel is when, for example, say you're a resident of the state of Alabama, and you're a woman, say you end up getting pregnant at 16, and you want to get an abortion. Well, since that person is a resident of the state of Mississippi, then unfortunately they can't get an abortion. And if you travel to another state where it is legal, you could potentially get arrested. Because that's, again, illegal. So those are the outcries. Those are the reasons. Well, you know what, man? And I'm probably going to get, not persecuted, but I'm going to have a lot of emotional attacks on me, potentially. But I'm here to spread the truth and give my opinion based on that truth. I believe this overturn is a good thing because at the end of the day, abortion is murder. Plain and simple. You're killing off another life. What right does you, as the woman, have to kill a living creature? Because it's something that you did. Something that you did, putting yourself in that situation, opening your legs, and participating in sexual intercourse. Now, some of you may say to me, oh my gosh, Ryan, how can you say that? You have no sympathy, no empathy whatsoever. Well, it's murder. You're killing another human life. And if you want to have sex, then use a condom. And those are not even 100%. Yeah, condom could break. A guy could put on the condom and then at the last moment take it off. I mean, nothing, when it comes to sexual intercourse, you don't mess around with that. And again, I'm a virgin, so from a experience point of view, I don't know jack squat, but I know just through learning, conversation. That's something you don't mess around with. And by the way, why would you women want to take pregnancy prevention pills? I mean, here are these side effects of pregnancy prevention pills. You possibly could get acne, bleeding or spotting between periods, bloating. I know y'all women are sensitive about your gut, depression, fatigue, feeling dizzy, headaches, increasing appetite, which again could potentially cause weight gain, mood swings, vomiting. Oh, look at this, weight gain. Now, this is all according to healthline.com. Excuse me. Oh, and insomnia. Now, and another thing, blood pressure above your usual range. Oh my gosh. Y'all still want to take birth control pills? Okay. Hear this. Now, this is according to Planned Parenthood, and I know a bunch of you are probably supporter of Planned Parenthood. You know, Planned Parenthood, this is the same organization where, I'm not going to say who, but I know someone who unfortunately got an abortion. And when this person made a phone call discussing getting that murder, the person on the line told this individual, wait a couple of weeks. And this person, the pregnant individual, wanted to get it done immediately. So she, not threatened, but made statements that would lead you to believe that she would do it herself. And then the woman on the phone said, no, you ain't gotta do that. Come in and we'll handle it. But why did that woman on the phone, now again, this is going back to the 90s. So why would that woman on the phone tell this particular individual to wait a couple of weeks so the body could form? Because once they take out that living creature, you know what they do? They donate the body parts, sell it on the black market. This is how corrupt Planned Parenthood is. But other than that, here are the health risks associated with birth control pills: blood clots, gallbladder disease, liver cancer, strokes, and high blood pressure. Oh, and if you smoke, oh God, you just double up on the possibility of be on the receiving end of those things. So why you women do that to yourselves? Taking those pills. You don't need to have sex to enjoy that time with your boyfriend. You don't need to do it. So why do it? Knowing that risk of potentially getting pregnant. And you, as the woman, are the one taking those birth control pills. Guys, you take something. You take the damn pill. Because I guarantee you, it's most likely that's the guys that are influencing the woman to have sex. The guys are horny creatures. They see a woman with a nice shape, nice breasts, a big ass, and they say, man, I want to get me some. And because women are such emotional creatures, and it's not a bad thing at all. It's actually the main reason why when a guy is full of crap, women detect it much easily. And because of the damn men that's in this world, they suppress it. They suppress it to the point where a woman is so freaking confused of whether a guy truly likes her or not, that when a guy treats her like garbage, she ends up staying with him because she's confused. It's one of the biggest emotional tragedies for women. Because as I mentioned earlier, man, women are the prize. Y'all women are the gold standard of humans. Other than Jesus Christ, of course. Y'all women, there's a song with Jay-Z and R. Kelly. Oh, Jesus. I know I'm not supposed to say his name, but just bear with me. And there's a song between them. And I'm not going to say the name of the song, but if you research in detail the statements about the mate, you could possibly find the song. But in that song, the two of them are discussing that, women will get a haircut. Guys would dress fly. Just for women. Y'all women, man, I wish more women out there would truly value themselves and hold a standard to themselves. Because again, all you women are the prize. You women, I hope you're listening to this statement. Y'all have no idea, some of you, how much control you have over a guy. Some of you really don't know. Test them. Whoever you're dating right now, if they pull some crap on you, test them. I guarantee you, if you hold their feet to the fire, if they truly care for you and they truly they like you for you, they'll show their true colors. They'll show their true colors. But going back to the abortion thing. For those who want to get abortion, there's negatives to that as well. Look at this. Now, this is according to foundationsoflife.org. Now, according to their research, serious complications occur in less than 1 out of 100 early abortions. And in about 1 out of every 50 later abortions, complications may include heavy bleeding, infection, incomplete abortion, damage to the cervix, scarring of the uterine lining, damage to internal organs, abortion, and preterm birth for future pregnancies. I know a woman who told me that she was at least aware of another individual who got abortions. I believe it was 3 in a short period of time and messed her up so bad that this woman likely could never get pregnant. Well, not get pregnant, but have an actual birth because she messed up her the organs or whatever part of the body. You see, I'm so ignorant of the parts of the body that connects to pregnancy. She essentially messed up whatever parts that connect to the parts that are in relations to the pregnancy, because she kept getting too much abortions. So again, heavy bleeding, infection, incomplete abortion, damage to the cervix, death, damage to internal organs. All of that can happen because you get an abortion. So why do it? Why do it? So let me hit this first part. You're just 16. You like this guy. You feel the need to have sex with this guy because you believe that's the next step in the relationship. You wear a condom, or you don't wear a condom because you want to feel it, for lack of a better term. You end up getting knocked up. Now again, you're 16. Say the individual is averaging a 3.8 GPA average, about to go to a Ivy League school, and because of this pregnancy, that may potentially disrupt that path of going to that Ivy League school. What do you say to that person who wants to get an abortion? Here's my opinion on that situation. First of all, you shouldn't be having sex at that young of an age. Second of all, you as the woman put yourself in that situation to potentially get pregnant. Again, if you want to blame the guy for penetrating in the woman and inserting his semen in the vagina and whatnot, okay. But it takes two to tango. Meaning it takes two to get a woman pregnant. So it's a 50-50 split between the guy and the woman on all of this. So again, first part, you shouldn't be having sex at that young of an age. And even if you're an adult, you shouldn't be having sex with someone that you don't want to or you don't see yourself having a child with. Because you know there's a potential risk of getting pregnant by that said individual. Common sense. So again, first part. Don't be having sex with people that you don't see yourself or you don't want to have a child with. Common sense. Second of all, you should take some damn accountability. Again, you participated in the sexual intercourse, the act of sexual intercourse. And now you want to kill off a living being because of your stupid mistake, of your carelessness. Why? How about take some damn responsibility, go through the 9-month process, and if you don't want the kid, at that point, give it up for adoption. Do you not know how many people out there in the world, how many guys in the world aren't able to get a woman pregnant because they have a problem, so to speak? A lot. A lot. And now you want to kill a child because of your mistake? No. I can't buy that. I won't buy that. I choose not to buy that. It's murder at the end of the day. And if I was running for the Senate, I would make it a law. I would make it a manslaughter law for abortions. If it were up to me, I would make it a manslaughter law at the easiest conviction. Because how can you kill someone? Because how is it different when someone is walking and living and breathing physically in the planet compared to someone who's living and breathing inside a woman's womb? But yeah, a woman could kill a child and not be persecuted in any way, but a person that's living and breathing physically in the earth outside of the womb can get charged with manslaughter, first-degree murder, second-degree murder, third-degree murder. How is that any different? It's not. Because it's a living creature at the end of the day. Now, let's go to the second point. What if you're raped? Child, teen, adult. What if you're raped? What if you're a young girl, your mama leave you with her brother, your uncle? It's a brother, right? I don't see a reason why your mother shouldn't trust her own brother. Unless he had some prior incident with a child, or you see signs that he may be, what's the word I'm looking for? Fleshly feelings towards childs. Lust, there we go. Thank you, Holy Ghost. That he may potentially have lust for children. I don't see why not the mother shouldn't trust her own brother. But unfortunately, she does. And the uncle ends up raping his niece. Girl gets pregnant. Obviously, she's 10, 11, 12 years old. How can a 10, 11, 12-year-old take care of a child? Legitimate question. Legit. What do you do now? Do you still allow the abortion to happen? Or do you maintain your stance that abortion is illegal no matter what? And what I say to that is, it still should be illegal. And here's why. For the same reason I mentioned earlier. It's still a living creature. It's a damn shame that those situations happen many times. Many times. And I don't wish that on anyone. I don't wish that on my worst enemy, female enemy. But again, it's a living being. And us women, in my opinion, even when you're carrying said child, you don't have the right to take away that life from that child because of your misjudgment or someone else's misjudgment. Now, what I will say, in a case of rape, I would charge the rapist for a felony crime. And I believe that rapists should do 10 to 15 years in jail. Prison, even. For getting a child pregnant. That's what I would do. But in terms of abortion, nope. It's it's a living. I know I say it a lot, but it's a living being. It would be murder. And on top of that, persecute the person, persecute the guardian. I will persecute the guardian for misjudgment. Again, how would that go in law? Well, make it a law. So, now, that's for the child. What if an adult is raped? Say you're in the club, popping bottles, and a guy drops one of those pills to get you to be knocked out. And you end up getting gangbanged. And you get pregnant. Well, what do? Do you keep it? Possibly as a reminder that you were raped? A rape baby on top of that? Or do you get an abortion? You kill that said baby. My stance is still the same. It's unfortunate that a rape happened, or rapes in some cases happened, but you as the woman, in my opinion, have no right to kill a living being, regardless of how that baby was formed. Because of one word: accountability. Again, it's your right if you want to go to the club. It's your right if you want to go to the bar. It's your right to go wherever you please, as long as it's a public area. But if you are going to those places, clubs, strip clubs, where alcohol is served, I'm pretty sure cocaine is at those places, or all forms of drugs. Sex is going on all those places. Don't be surprised if you end up becoming a victim on the receiving end of said drugs, of said rapes. Let me tell y'all a story. This story happened, I believe, earlier this year in Harlem, New York. No, excuse me. I take that back. It happened in January 2021. Actually, I read it right now. This is according to CBSNews.com. So the woman said, I politely declined, quote, I politely declined. I said, no, thank you. But thank you, I can pay for it myself. So this was at the checkout register. And I got ready to walk out. Before I walk out, one of the men in question, he basically said that he felt like I thought I was better than them, the three people. The men followed her out. She says, asking, what did she want to do about it? I just said, a quote, I just asked him, I said, you seriously trying to fight me? I'm trying to go about my business. She says they chased her across the street, kicking her, and one man actually bit her forehead, leaving a deep wound. She says he tried to bite her eye out. Others kicked her. To bite me, she said, quote, to bite me and to do that, maul me the way that he did with me, screaming and saying, I'm just trying to get my daughter. That's an animal. That's not a person. So why I use this as an example? Because this woman, again, it's her legal right to go to the liquor store at nighttime. It's her constitutional right to do so as an American citizen. But we gotta use common sense, man. We gotta use better judgment. Again, it's her right to do and go whatever she wants to do. If she wants to buy liquor in the middle of the night, and even possibly drink that liquor in the middle of the night, that's her decision. That's her business. But we gotta use better judgment. Now think about it. Harlem, New York. One of the most crime-apt cities in the state of New York. You as a woman are gonna walk in the middle of the night by yourself near a liquor store where most likely a bunch of hoodlums hang out. Hoodlums who are ignorant to the bone, and you reject one of them and you expect it to be kumbaya and then potentially leave you alone. That's just, in my opinion, not using common sense. Now, I am not obviously defending the guy. You shouldn't be beating up on a woman. Vehemently against that. Again, it goes back to common sense. Using better judgment. So you don't put yourself in that situation. Same thing to potentially getting raped. Don't, as an adult specifically, because when you're a child, you're innocent, you don't know better. But when you're an adult, you don't put yourself in those situations to potentially get raped, get gangbanged at the club, or places of ill repute. You don't do that. Stay your backside home. Go to a diner. You don't need to go to a club to have a good time. Use common sense. Again, I have empathy for women who are raped. In this case, the woman who got beat up, just minding her own business, according to this article, went buying liquor, and then she got beat up because a guy got offended, or guys got offended. But we gotta have some accountability. Women, you gotta have some accountability. It happens. Rapes, unfortunately, happens. In this world where we had a bunch of wars, genocides, homicides, of course there's gonna be rapes. It's unfortunate, it's very sad, but it's going to happen. But what we can do, and guys too, guys shouldn't be raping women, putting pills in their drinks, drugging them. Those guys should be condemned for doing that. But women, again, don't put yourself in that situation to begin with. You don't need to go to those type of environments to have fun. You don't need to do that. You could go to an arcade. You can go to a sporting event. There are so many avenues to have fun, to enjoy yourself. You don't need to pop a bottle. You don't need to smoke a joint. You don't need to go to places of ill repute. Or to put it bluntly, places of sin. You don't need to do that. So, after all this, what am I saying? What's my whole point? As you're winding this down. What I said earlier, abortion, if I were the president, and again, you can't make states act on, I mean, you could, but it's highly unlikely you could make all of the states act on this law. But if it were me, I would make all abortion illegal. Oh, and here's another thing. Thank you, Holy Ghost. I want to touch on from a guy's perspective. So say 60 or 16, you're a young adult, early adult. Let's get early adult. You're a young adult. You're in your 20s, mid 20s, 30s, and more so the young adults. And you get pregnant. You don't want to keep it, but the guy wants to keep it. You know, that's his son. That's his daughter. He wants to keep. Yeah. I didn't plan it this way, but yeah, I could do that. I could become a father. Yeah. I may not be ready, but I want to accept the challenge. Yeah. And then the woman says, "It's my body. I've made that final call." And yes, technicality, apologize if you hear noise, that's fireworks. So I'm saying, yes, in technicality, it is your body, and yes, you technically have the final decision because the baby is in your womb, hence the woman's womb. But let me tell you something, women. You would be very evil to commit that murder knowing that the dad wants to have that child. Because, as I mentioned earlier, it takes two to tango. It takes two to have that child. So morally and ethically, the guy has the right whether he wants to keep that child or not. If you truly don't want the child, how about the guy raises it? How about the daddy raise child? And you have no involvement whatsoever. Oh, but you see, emotionally, you wouldn't be able to do that because that child will look at you as a deadbeat. How about you give it up for adoption? If you two can't go to common ground. You feel like you abandoned that child. And the father too. Well, how about this? Let me give you all a suggestion how to prevent all that. And I mentioned it earlier. Don't have sex. Did you hear me? Do not have sex. And you wouldn't have any of these problems, these concerns, these troubles, potential troubles. It's very simple, ladies and gentlemen. Work smarter, not harder. Control the controllable. You don't want to have a child? Well, do the things not to potentially get a child. Simple as that. Abortion is murder. It's and heinous act. I'm totally against it. And shame on those women who have gotten abortions. Shame on them. Because you killed a living life. Now, I may not know your situation. I may not know the circumstances of reasons why certain women have gotten abortions. But just on the surface, as I see it, it's murder. You're killing another living being. As simple as that. I have empathy, again, for all the women who have been raped. But just some of y'all women put yourselves in that position. Take some accountability. And guys, take some accountability too. Because y'all quick to get in a woman's pants, but once she end up getting pregnant, oh my gosh, you're surprised. And now you don't want the woman to keep it. It goes both ways. But again, there's a solution for all this. So you don't have to worry about all of this. Don't have sex. Case closed. I thank all of you for listening. I hope that any of you got something from this episode. I know that I did. Just recording this episode in progress, I've learned something. And I hope that all of you again learned something too. I know I probably pissed some of you off. But again, I'm just giving you my opinion. And I'm telling it like it is. You can follow me on all social media platforms. They'll be in the description below.